On the large continent of Australia, there are thousands of unique animals. The Oceania region is home to a majority of the flightless birds on Earth. These include the cassowary, ostrich, emu, and the lesser-known little penguin. The little penguin is the smallest penguin, hence the name little penguin. These penguins grow to an average height of 13 inches and 14 inches in length, and weigh roughly 3 pounds. Little penguins are very distinct as they are the only penguins in the world to have blue and white feathers. These penguins are found around the coast of Australia and New Zealand with around 32,000 breeding adults. On land, little penguins live in holes in the ground. These are known as burrows. These burrows provide a place for little penguins to rest, nest, and molt. Burrows also provide protection from predators and extreme heat. While on land, little penguins remain inside their burrows during the day to avoid predators. Depending on the season, a little penguin may spend between 1 day and 1 month at sea. When little penguins are breeding, they will regularly return to incubate the eggs and feed their chicks. During winter, little penguins spend more time at sea chasing fish and only return to rest and renovate their burrows. Little penguins do not mate for life. If breeding success is low, penguins may look for a new mate. Researchers from Phillip Island Nature Parks have recorded an annual divorce rate between 18 and 50% for little penguins. Little penguins lay 2 eggs. Both parents take turns incubating them. The incubation period is approximately 35 days. Both parents feed their chicks by regurgitating fish and squid caught at sea. Chicks leave their parents and head out to sea for the first time at around 7 to 11 weeks of age. Their parents do not teach them how to swim or fish. They know how to do this instinctively. Little penguins molt between February and April, staying ashore for approximately 17 days. Penguins molt to replace their old and worn feathers. They do this so they can maintain a waterproof plumage. Without waterproof feathers, they would lose lots of heat and eventually die of hypothermia. They cannot eat during a molt as they are not waterproof and can't go out to sea to fish. Instead, they almost double their body weight beforehand. Penguins have many adaptations for life at sea, including modified wings called flippers to fly through the water, a gland to spread an oil-like substance over their feathers when preening to help keep them waterproof, a streamline-shaped body, waterproof feathers, and a salt gland above their eyes to filter salt from seawater, providing them with fresh water. When penguins want to go somewhere on land, they waddle. While it may be humorous to waddle and look silly, waddling is the most efficient form of movement for penguins. Little legs and big feet make movement awkward on land, but waddling helps by raising a penguin's center of mass, allowing the penguin to swing its body and gain momentum. In contrast to the other species, little penguins are nocturnal. That means they generally do not enter the shore before dusk and leave it before dawn. They forage during the day and often will sleep beside the nest at night after they've fed the chicks. This species nests in burrows, under trees, in rock crevices, and sometimes in caves. Usually nests are clustered to form colonies, but single breeding pairs are not uncommon. At sea, little penguins are often found alone or in small groups of up to 10 birds, but sometimes these groups can be much larger. Although foraging trip durations can be highly variable, little penguins tend to stay close to the coast.
Africa, home to many types of animals, but on the southern coast of Africa is home to the African penguins, also known as the black-footed penguin. They grow to be around 60 centimeters in height and weigh up to 4 kilograms. The black-footed penguins will venture out to 30 miles into the ocean to feast on small squid, pilchards, and mackerel. They can dive up to 130 meters underwater and can hold their breaths for over 2 minutes. While far out in the ocean, though, there are predators that lurk beneath the waves, waiting for the right moment to attack. The most dangerous, the great white shark. Along with the great white shark in the ocean, there are seals that will hunt them down. On land, leopards and mongooses are what they look out for. They lay their eggs in nests they make on the bare ground and take turns looking after it. Both the male and the female will take after the chick until it's matured. Like most penguin, the black-footed penguin has one mate for the rest of its lives, and usually go back to the same nest that they had before, but that's not always the case.
His husband has come home to find his wife with another penguin. He flips out. His strategy is simple: batter the homewrecker until he flees.
The African penguin is an endangered species. What most people don't understand is that whenever they look for food, they don't look directly for the fish, but they look for environments and areas where fish should be, like where there's high chlorophyll levels and nice surface temperature water, because that's what feeds the fish, so plenty of fish should be there. But the problem is that people go to those same areas and overfish those areas, take the food. And so what it's called an ecological trap, these penguins go to the area and they think there should be food there because in past times that's where it was. And they realize there's no food there and the penguins start to go hungry. This causes them to starve and die off, and which is a big reason why they're going extinct. These penguins, they've set them in areas to find out to see what would go on, and they always go to the same spot because of the conditions that they know should have fish, but due to overfishing and taking up the fish, they go hungry and they're endangered.
Hello, what do you know about penguins?
I know that penguins have wings, but they don't use their wings to fly. They use their wings to swim. And I know that the daddy actually takes care of the baby egg and won't leave it even if he has to die protecting it. I know that they're cute. And I know that not all penguins live in the Arctic, that some penguins actually live in warm environments as well, like in Madagascar, the cute little movie. And I know that there are a variety of species of penguins, and I know that penguins also look a lot like puffins, but those are also two very different species of penguins.
April every year, the start of the Antarctic winter, emperor penguins meet to breed on the thick Antarctic ice. By the time the females lay their eggs, usually around June, she's worked up a big appetite. She passes the egg to the female before journeying up to 80 kilometers to the open ocean, where she can feed on fish, squid, and krill. To survive in such low temperatures, these brilliant birds have special adaptations. They have large stores of insulating body fat and several large layers of scale-like feathers that protect them from the icy winds. They also huddle close together in large groups to keep themselves and each other warm. As the youngsters grow, the parents lead them in groups called creches. They head to the ocean to fish. Come December, the warmer temperatures break up the ice that the penguins occupy, bringing open waters closer to the nesting site. By this time, the chicks are old enough to swim and fish and take to the ocean themselves. Deep in the shearing cold of Antarctica lies the emperor penguin. As they slowly lose their habitat, they are also dealing with their very complex lives. As the days go by and the female and male penguins mate, little that you see to the eye is what the penguins go through and do for their young. The female penguin goes out to sea, traveling a staggering 70 miles into the penguin's natural breeding zone, being gone for 3 to 4 months. While the mother is gone, the male will stay and care for the young unhatched egg. They will go without eating until the mother returns. Diverse in many ways compared to the other 17 species of penguins and land birds, the emperor penguin is the only bird to dive at depths of 1,900 feet. But even at those depths, predators are near, including the killer whale, giant petrel, the leopard seal, and skuas. This isn't bad though. With all the adaptations that the emperor penguin has, fighting off and surviving against the predators is a pretty simple task. Penguins can swim an average of 7 miles per hour. But a penguin called the Gentoo can swim a whopping 22 miles per hour. This is a great feature that penguins have that helps them in many ways dealing with the predators. The emperor penguin can make smooth and swift turns and curves to avoid and what you could say outswim their predators. Although these penguins seem happy and safe from anything that may come their way, they cannot escape global warming. Global warming is leading to their downfall. The flightless birds which inhabit Antarctica are threatened by changes to sea ice which are driven by climate change. The change in climate is resulting in the melting of sea ice, glaciers, and basically the homes to many penguins across the Arctic. But they aren't just losing their homes, they're losing their main food supply, which includes fish, krill, squid, clams, and more. The things that are being taken away from these penguins affects them tremendously. In the end, the emperor penguin, as you can see, is very different and are going through many things that other mammals are not facing. Differing from many animals in their diets, norms, daily routines, and their lifestyles in general, the emperor penguin in the end is pretty unique.